The celebration of kids here at SunTrust Park continued tonight in the final game of this 4-game series between the Phils and the Braves. All kids coming to the yard receive the bat and ball set, so you know there's going to be an awful lot of smiles. Lots to do as we get set for this ball game. And for the Phillies fans, they're looking for a little redemption after last night's drubbing by the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Ben Davis. Greg Murphy will join us in just a little bit. Wait till you see what Murph is going to do a little later on in the telecast. We'll stay tuned for that. We can't wait to see what Ben Lively does tonight in Game 2 of his Major League career. And Pete Mackinnon said he's excited because of the way Lively looked against the Giants.
Yeah, he should be excited. I'm anxious to see how he does tonight. I just hope he doesn't try and change a whole lot, because what he did against the San Francisco Giants, it was exceptional. And he pitched 7 great innings. He did have the 3 walks. That's something I didn't think we were really expecting. No strikeouts, but he worked down. He pitched to contact. He used all his pitches. I know the curveball was really his second best pitch, but I was more impressed with that slider. He was able to get himself back in counts with that slider, but I was also impressed with his ability to pitch up in the zone. Now, he's not a guy that will light up the radar gun. He'll sit about 91 to 93, but the ball gets on these hitters. I don't think they pick it up.
Well, Rick Kranitz, who's the Phillies' assistant pitching coach, said there's something about his delivery, the way he releases it and where he releases it, that it does jump on the hitters. And we look at the rookie pitchers, the last 5 to win their Major League debut, and you hope Lively can continue what he did this past Saturday against the San Francisco Giants. The Phils want to win another series. It'll be the first time they've won back-to-back series since the end of April. It'll be Lively against R.A. Dickey, who's making his 12th start. He's walked a lot of guys this year, including 5 in his last 2 outings alone. Well, Odubel Herrera is all smiles right now offensively. You would be too if you have 11 extra base hits in the last 5 games. Lineups in first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Back here at SunTrust Park as we get set for the final game of this 4-game series, the Phils and the Atlanta Braves. It's a beautiful night. It was a beautiful day here in the Atlanta area. Phillies will be on to St. Louis at the end of this ball game. R.A. Dickey is floating that knuckleball. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Well, Howie Kendrick is not in the lineup tonight because he's 1 for 8 against R.A. Dickey, and Michael Saunders has good numbers against him, 3 for 7 with 2 home runs. So Saunders is batting 6th. Cameron Rupp is back in the lineup, hitting 7th, and Freddie Galvis and Ben Lively. Now they will face the right-hander R.A. Dickey. Dickey 3 and 4 with a 5.10 earned run average. The walks have been an issue for him. Walked 5 his last time, walked 5 2 games ago as well, making his 12th start of the year. It's the first time Tyler Flowers is catching him. Time now for our AARPs getting to know R.A. Dickey.
Well, he throws that knuckleball about 80% of the time. He will mix in some fastballs. The fastball will be about 82.7 miles per hour on average. Very good numbers against the Phils. 5-5 with a 3.12 ERA. But going to make sure they throws that knuckleball for strikes, like you said, Tom.
Yeah, last time out, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. He allowed 4 earned runs. Time now for our Nissan keys to the game.
With that knuckleball, see it high and let it fly. The offense, don't swing the ball down. It has more movement at the bottom of the zone. And Ben Lively, build on your last start. It was very good, and don't think you need to change anything.
I think there's a lot of anticipation for his second major league start based on what he did his last outing. Here's Cesar Hernandez. Cesar 3 for 13 in this series. He has hit in 7 consecutive games, and the first knuckleball of the night is in there for strike, and it's 0-1. Overall, 287 for Cesar, 5 homers, 14 runs batted in. And he loses his bat, caught by the net. And it's 0-2. That knuckleball was a little slower than the first one. The first one was about 80. That one looked like it came in even slower than that.
Well, he will change speeds on it.
So now no balls and 2 strikes. Dickey said after his last outing that he was embarrassed with the way he pitched. He suffered a no decision. The team wound up winning the game 6-5. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He does look different, though, the way he delivers his knuckleball this year compared to years past. It's like he's quicker with his motion.
Yeah.
Cesar stays alive.
Doesn't waste any time.
And that description that you had, if it's high, let it fly. That's always what Matt has said about the knuckleball. Matt seems to talk about the knuckleball at length with each passing year. And a strike 3 called. Cesar is down looking. And 1 out here in the first inning.
This one's dancing, and he does throw that one a bit slower. It's just in a good spot. Really good spot.
Oh, that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. Odubel is on some pace right now. His average is at 289. 5 home runs and 23 runs batted in. He has 21 doubles this year, which leads Major League Baseball. He had 21 doubles last year. Shows bunt, bunts it to the left of the mound. Dickey's a good fielder and gets rid of it fast and in time to get Herrera.
It's a shame that ball just wasn't pushed a bit more towards the line, because he would have beaten it out. You see the gold on the back of R.A. Dickey's glove. He's gotten a gold glove before. But this ball just bunted just too far back out in front of R.A. Dickey. I mean, if that ball is even 2 feet more to Dickey's right, Odubel beats it out.
Well, here's Aaron Altair. Altair is 4 for 8 in this series with 3 RBIs. Hitting .294, 9 homers, 31 runs batted in. And 1 ball, no strikes. inside, 2-0. Well, Ben, you say that you should keep a baseball that's scuffed. Watch this. R.A. Dickey has the baseball in his right hand that he just used. Tyler Flowers tried to change it out, put the ball that the umpire gave him in the glove, and Dickey never took it. He used the old baseball.
Maybe that had some good seams on it for that knuckler.
Now toward right center field. On the run is Markakis, and he is there to make the catch. Now the Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. On to the bottom of the first inning here at SunTrust Park. Is always going to remember his major league debut. After being drafted in the 4th round of the 2013 draft, 3 years, 11 months, and 28 days later, the 25-year-old reached every kid's dream. Ben Lively took the mound at Citizens Bank Park and was very solid for 7 strong innings. The right-hander allowed just 1 earned run, only 4 hits, and did so without a strikeout. His 98-pitch performance was one he and his family will never forget. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Oh, he's had to wait since Saturday until his next major league ball game, and here it comes tonight here at SunTrust Park. Lively 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA. 6-1 this year at AAA.
That fastball sitting in the low 90s. Curveball, slider, change. I'd like to see him eliminate those 3 walks that he had in that first outing.
I think he feels the same way. You could see his frustration when he was out there on the mound on Saturday when he was issuing those walks, because down in the minor leagues he had 7 walks in 56 1/3 innings.
And his whip coming up was 1.11.
And he does want to work quickly, and that's why Inciarte asked for time. Just a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inciarte hitting .306 with 6 home runs, 25 runs batted in. At a bit high, 3-1. And ball 4. So he walks Inciarte to lead the game off. And the rest of the Braves lineup brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. It's pretty much the same lineup that we've seen. Rio Ruiz is batting 7th once again, playing 3rd base. He was out there taking some ground balls under the watchful eye of Ron Washington. Dansby Swanson's been good for the Braves in this series. And then R.A. Dickey. Here's Brandon Phillips. Phillips is hitting only .400 against the Phillies this year. I mean, he has been red hot. 5 for 13 in this series alone. And he fouls the first pitch off to the right and out of play. .347 on base percentage for Brandon Phillips. Curveball hit out toward left field. It's going to split the gap and go toward the warning track. Cut off by Altair. And Phillips has to hustle to second base. The Phillies didn't realize that he was slow to get there. And it'll be a double, second and third, with nobody out here in the first inning.
I think if Aaron throws this ball right at second base, it's a different story, because Phillips wasn't sure if he was going to make that turning and head to second base. Aaron Altair, he does hit his cutoff man, which you want to do, but Phillips very late in getting there. He finally reads it. Once he sees that ball's going to Freddie, he decides to keep going to second base.
Well, two in scoring position now. Markakis is coming up. Markakis had 3 doubles and 5 RBIs in last night's ball game. 7 RBIs in the series. Only one other player has had 3 RBI or 3 doubles and at least 5 RBIs. There's a 1-hopper to second. And Cesar will throw out Markakis, but a run scores, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead. And over to third base goes Brandon Phillips. But only one other guy has had 3 doubles and at least 5 RBIs in a game this year, and that's Aaron Hicks of the Yankees.
Braves continuing to be very aggressive on that first pitch. Markakis going up there doing his job. He got him over and got him in.
Well, Matt Kemp now the batter. Kemp hitting .322, 1 for 11 in the series. Breaking ball, and it's 1-0. A little more than 50% of the time last time out as Lively threw his fastball. Maybe that's their thought. You know, young pitcher trying to establish the strike zone. They go after it early. That one's out toward right center field. That's well hit. It's going to split the gap and go off the base of the wall. A run scores. Kemp to second. RBI double. 2-0 Braves. 2 doubles in the inning. And that's the 17th double of the year for Matt Kemp.
He's always been a guy that can use the whole field. That ball just gets up in that wind current out to right field and just takes off. The ball's down, but it was in the middle.
Saunders did a good job getting to that ball. Kemp wasn't really running that hard, but still. And now Matt Adams, who homered last night against Andres Blanco. That was his 3rd hit of the series. But it's no balls and 1 strike. Adams hitting .269 with 6 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Inside. Overall, he's hitting .278, counting his time with the Cardinals with 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Off the hands, shallow left field. And Altair is there, 2 outs.
Shows you how aggressive they've been. I mean, he's got 2 outs. They have 2 runs scored, and he's only thrown 13 pitches.
I guess now you have to try to deviate a little bit with that if they're that aggressive, or you just locate better.
You just locate better. You can use it to your advantage.
Tyler Flowers 4 for 13 in this series so far. I mentioned this is the first time that he is catching R.A. Dickey. The other 11 games were caught by Kurt Suzuki. Back to the screen, lost his bat, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Batting gloves on.
Lizard skin.
Lizard skin. Sure, he's got wrapping some pine tar, and he still loses his bat.
Flowers third among catchers with a .459 on base percentage, hitting .350. And he fouls it away. It's 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. First inning of his last game, Lively allowed a leadoff single to Denard Span and then got a double play on a line drive. And then Brandon Belt flied out to right field. He did allow 1 run in the second inning, so he trailed that game. In fact, it was a 1-0 ball game until Tommy Joseph's home run. That one is pulled foul. And it remains 2-2. Matt Kemp going back to second base. Got him. A high fastball hung on to by Cameron Rupp. First strikeout for Lively, but the Braves do score 2. A ground out by Markakis, a double by Kemp. We'll go to the second. 2-0 Braves. Sox are coming to town for 2 games on June 14th and 15th. Both games are at 7:05. Plan ahead for these popular summer games. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. We begin the top of the second inning. Tommy Joseph, Maikel Franco, and Michael Saunders for the Phils against R.A. Dickey. Since the 1st of May, R.A. Dickey is averaging around 4 walks per game. He's walked 4 once. He's walked 5 twice during that span. He's also 0-2 with an ERA of 6.06 during those games. So they're getting runs against him. Upstairs, and it's 1-2. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Flowers is doing a pretty good job with him thus far. You see he's more of a side saddle. He's not straight up towards R.A. Dickey. You see him get a little sideways there.
That one's lined to shortstop over the head of Swanson. A base hit for Tommy Joseph. So Tommy is the first hit of the night. Maikel Franco's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, you know, when you come up against a knuckleballer like R.A. Dickey, the approach obviously is a little different. Ben, you touched on it in your keys to the game. I had a chance to talk with Matt Stairs today. It was, you know, before batting practice started. He was sitting back in the hitting cage, and he was kind of sitting back on his chair. He had his feet up. He was relaxing, watching the afternoon game, San Diego and Arizona. And I said, well, when you talk to the guys about the approach to R.A. Dickey, what are you telling them? He said, you see how I am right now? I'm relaxed. He said, that's what I'm asking my guys to do. Be relaxed today. He said, this is a day where you kind of got to forget about the fundamentals. You got to forget about your mechanics, and you just have to go up there and look for that one pitch, Ben, as you said, up in the zone and let it fly. He said, you know, it's one of those things. He said, R.A. Dickey's a little different in terms of a knuckleballer. He has 2 different speeds for his knuckleball. You'll see one that's mid-70s. You'll see one that's in the low 80s. So, you know, you have to consider that. They have a little bit of different movement. He'll still throw his fastball, especially the left-handers, about 20% of the time as well. So, you know, it's things to think about. He said, but what I really want them to do is not think. It's to get up there in the box and just look for that one pitch and swing away. He said it's the one day you can just relax up there and not have to worry about anything else. Sounds easy. I'm sure it's a little more difficult than that, but that's what he's asking his guys to do.
Easier said than done. That was a pass ball charged to Tyler Flowers. That one's hit out towards center field. Ender Inciarte is under it. Tagging from second is Tommy Joseph. Inciarte's throw to third base is not in time. It was nearly in time. Well, he let that one go in the air.
And he can throw it.
Fortunately, it was a little high, and Tommy Joseph was able to slide under Rio Ruiz.
Inciarte not big in stature, but he's got a hose. All the way in the air. I was hoping Tommy would tag up there. He did. I know he's not the fleetest of foot, but that ball was deep enough. Such a lost start in the game of baseball is outfield throwing. Such a lost start.
Well, we saw it the other day, Ender Inciarte, in a play that was sort of a matter-of-fact play, where he just let it fly. And the reason that's important is now less than 2 outs, he can score on a fly ball, he can score on a ground ball, but he also can score on a pass ball or wild pitch.
Correct.
1 ball, 1 strike to Saunders. I mentioned this is Flowers' first game catching R.A. Dickey. He caught him in spring training. And there's nothing to this, according to Brian Snitker. It's just a reprieve for Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki has 7 pass balls, which is tops in the National League. And Flowers said yesterday, it's only fair that I get behind the plate once or twice and give Kurt Suzuki a little bit of a chance to catch his breath, not have to catch the knuckleball every single time.
Well, the key to it is not getting your hand in a set position. You have to be very soft, and you see Flowers keeps his mitt on the dirt before the pitch is coming in, so he just doesn't get his hand set in a set position and get a rigid hand.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Saunders, and Saunders strikes out. Second strikeout for R.A. Dickey. The other thought that Brian Snitker had, and it's not a bad one, if something happens to Kurt Suzuki, he said, I have to be confident that Tyler Flowers has caught R.A. Dickey, or if there's a trade or something.
So he keeps that mitt on the dirt. You just get locked out there, you're going to start clanking them.
Problem is, though, if you don't react quick enough like he didn't on the pass ball,
right,
you're in a little bit of trouble. 2 outs for Cameron Rupp. And Cam takes inside.
I never had to catch a knuckleballer. Best one I ever caught, though, just playing catch, Phil Nevin. What a knuckleball he had. Thing was dancing all over the place.
Down the right field line. Markakis comes running in and can't get there. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Margaret Creelman of Vineland. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Margaret will win $200. Introducing the new signature crafted recipes at McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Good luck, Margaret. Another contestant from Jersey, Tom.
Garden State always participating. You got to get out.
I think I'm on to something here.
I think you have to, get the Keystone State rolling with this. Another foul ball, 1-2. You think you would have enjoyed catching a knuckleballer?
I think it would have been fun.
That's surprising that you didn't catch one at all.
No, never even in the minor leagues.
Another foul ball. Well, last night, Andres Blanco, Ben, as you know, pitched in a game here at SunTrust Park. And Andres was talking today about the fact that all of the reports on his outing said that he was throwing a knuckleball. He said, I wasn't throwing a knuckleball. I was just throwing slow. That's a good job by Flowers just to get the glove on it. 2-2.
I would not have liked to use that big old mitt.
Well, that looks like it's bigger than most.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It's like a softball catcher's mitt.
Yeah. But it looks bigger than some of the others that I've seen. Cam just stays alive, punching it foul. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. You see Cam's numbers with runners in scoring position. Ryan Blakeney is behind home plate. Jordan Baker at first, Bruce Dreckman at second, Mike Everett around at third. Popped him up near the mounds. R.A. Dickey's looking and saying, who's going to get it? And it's Dansby Swanson. Phillies leave one over third base here in the top of the second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We'll move to the bottom of the second inning. We know your summer is busy, so you can watch every Phils game wherever your summer plans take you. Live stream every game on the go with the NBC Sports app and on csnphilly.com. Bottom of the second inning. Phillies trail at 2-0. Rio Ruiz, Dansby Swanson, and R.A. Dickey will be the hitters. Well, there you go again.
Yeah.
But I guess that's okay as long as his placement of that fastball is good. Now that one looked like it was starting to rise a little bit, but it was still through the middle of the plate. So a lot of the Braves people up here, like Joe Simpson, Chip Carey, do their TV. They're saying, wow, he must have really been down in the zone against the Giants because of all the ground balls. And I said, well, yes, he was, but a lot of the ground ball outs were pitches that seemed to be up in the zone that they just couldn't get their bat head around.
Right.
And the more I thought about it, it was kind of odd that he had 10 ground ball outs. There's a tapper to first base. Lively comfortably gets to it and plays a little chicken with Rio Ruiz. One out. Here's Dansby Swanson. And his home run last night, his 3-run shot, was the Toyota turning point.
0-1 count against Jared Eichhoff. He throws a little slider. It just doesn't have a whole lot of movement on it. Swanson did not miss it. Put the Braves up 4-0 at the time. Sure, Toyota turning point.
Dansby Swanson is hitting .364 here in the month of June. I think the Braves, you mentioned it. When will they send him down? I think they were close to doing it. But he certainly has come to life in this series against the Phillies. Maybe they'll see what happens this weekend when they take on the Mets. You know, maybe they'll see if this continues. Because he hit 156 in April, 245 in May, and now he's 9 for 23 here in June. But he's 7 for 20 against the Phils this year. Jared Eichhoff gave up that home run on a curveball that just swirled right in the middle of the plate. Ball's bunted toward first in a foul ball. Jared last night 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. Asked Pete, I said, you know, on the air last night we were talking about why you took Jared Eichhoff out, and I told him what you said, that leadoff batter aboard, got to try to get something down 4-0. He said that's exactly the reason we took him out. I said I thought about keeping him in. He said, but I want to try to win the game.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't think he would be able to pitch us to a victory, but we needed some runs.
Yeah, down 4-0 at that time. You had to get back into it, or try to get back into it.
So that's why Ty Kelly came up to pinch hit. And unfortunately, he flied out to a fairly deep right field. Just missed it. All right, Dickey bunts foul, 1-2. Ben, the public address announcer, said if anybody uses profane language, they will be ejected from the ball game. R.A. Dickey was bordering on some profane language there.
Slightly disgruntled.
Wasn't the prettiest of bunts.
He really squares around, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That ball's off the screen. It's a strikeout anyway, so 2 outs. Second strikeout for Lively. And back to the top of the order for Inciarte.
Just really amazed at the lack of bunts that are getting down this season. I mean, by all the teams. It's something that they practice at home every day, off a machine, or someone throwing to them. And I mean, they were 3 poor attempts right there by R.A. Dickey. Phillies have had their struggles getting bunts down, but I'm noticing it with other teams as well.
I think we mentioned the best team we saw were the Rockies. They have the most sacrifice bunts, the pitching staff, in all of baseball. I think it has to be aggravating to the managers. You know, the National League is not going to change. They're not going to put a DH in. But the pitchers across the board have to figure out how to bunt better. Oh, 2 pitch. He's fouled away.
Just look back at some of the really good pitchers like Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine. These guys, it seemed like they got a bunt down every time, right?
Every time. Tapper back to the mound, just past Lively. Cesar has it and throws out. Oh, no, he didn't. Well, they'll review that one. Tommy Joseph did a good job of stretching and coming off the bag and kind of trying to buy it. He pointed to the dugout right away. But I like Inciarte. I mean, he moves all over the place.
Plays a great outfield. Hard to strike out. Hits lefties well.
Well, they're going to review it.
It's a heck of a play by Cesar. I mean, a heck of a play.
I think they got him.
So give us a good look.
He is out at first base. Well, you're right. That was a very good play by Cesar Hernandez and a ball that was not hit that hard.
Writing that down in ink, aren't you?
I am writing it down in ink. I am confident that this is an excellent choice to review it. My man Cameron Rupp is already walking off the field. They are looking at it a little longer than I would have thought. Jordan Baker wants to take those headphones off. And he is out at first base. So Cesar with a fine play. We'll move to the 3rd inning. The Phils down 2-0 to the Atlanta Braves. Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Ben, the question is, what visiting player hit the longest home run in Turner Field history? What visiting player, and there haven't been many of them, so you don't have a lot to choose from. What visiting player hit the longest home run in Turner Field history?
Is he a Philly?
He is not a Philly. So the answer is not Freddie Galvis, who will lead off the top of the third.
I was going to say Ryan Howard.
Would have been a good guess.
Would have been.
It is incorrect.
Oops.
That broke his bat. And he will be out.
It's amazing. He didn't even swing and that bat just exploded. Man.
Hit it on the right spot.
Yes. On that pressure point.
Well, now Ben Lively. What Dickey said after his last outing, when he said he was embarrassed, he said, I have to get back to being more aggressive with my knuckleball. I'm not really sure what he meant by it, because he does throw it a majority of the time. So I don't know if he.
I think he just means throwing it harder.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be it. He is throwing it harder tonight.
That's right. It's 78, 79 every time.
That one's pulled foul up the third base line.
There's a fastball there at 85.
And Lively strikes out. Third strikeout for R.A. Dickey. 2 away here in the third. Follow Phillies baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with Game Day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. Two away for Cesar, who struck out his first time. Back toward the middle and gobbled up by Swanson. That's a fine play. He was shaded that way. Phillies go down in order. 6 in a row retired by R.A. Dickey since the single by Tommy Joseph. We'll move to the bottom half of the third inning. At the bottom of the third inning, it'll be Brandon Phillips, Nick Markakis, Matt Kemp for the Atlanta Braves. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Braves. 0-1 to Phillips, who looked like he was swinging no matter where that pitch was. Last night the Braves scored their 14 runs. It was the most runs they've scored in a ball game since they scored 15 in a game against the Phillies back in 2012. Brian Snitker's team had really struggled offensively in the previous few games. 2-1 to Phillips. They're averaging just under 5 runs per game here at SunTrust Park. And part of that is because Inciarte is getting on consistently. He has scored 5 runs. Out towards center field. And Herrera makes the catch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for fast, free delivery? Nobody does it better. Here's Markakis. I mentioned that note about Markakis being the second player in the majors this year to have at least 3 doubles and at least 5 RBIs in a game. Only 2 other Braves in their history have ever done that. To have 3 doubles and 5 RBIs in a game. And Hammer and Hank is not one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Nor is Chipper Jones. Not Joe Adcock.
Eddie Matthews?
Eddie Matthews is not on the list. Gary Matthews is not on the list. Glenn Hubbard is not on the list, despite the fact that he had
Murph?
Deceiving speed.
Not Dale Murphy?
Not Dale Murphy.
Mark Lemke?
Mark Lemke, who was here last night, not him. Would you believe it was Gene Moore back in 1936? Twinkle Toes, Gene Moore. And Billy Southworth in 1921. Markakis hits one out toward right field.
I'm glad that wasn't the cheap Stump the Fans question.
You wouldn't have gotten that one?
No.
Glenn wouldn't have gotten that one? Little Joe wouldn't have gotten that one? Oh, here's Matt Kemp, who had an RBI double his last time up.
The fastball down and does not try and pull it. Pretty swing by Matt Kemp right there. Pretty swing.
Well, it's smart. They didn't start him off with a fastball. Through the hole and a base hit into left field for Kemp. And he is now 2 for 2. And first and second for the Braves. They have 5 hits in the first 3 innings.
The trend is continuing about swinging early and often, but I would have think maybe the first time through they wouldn't be as aggressive. Just to see his arm slot, Ben Lively. I've never seen him before. Just to see his arm slot, where the ball comes out of. But I mean, this is just, they're up there just swinging it. They just know that Ben Lively throws a lot of strikes. A slider that's just stayed up.
toward third. Michael Franco toward the dugout, and it's off the net. Boy, that looked weird from up here, didn't it?
It did.
The net goes from the front of the dugout up on kind of an angle. I have to say, though, that net's been very helpful.
Yes, it has.
It's higher than most of the nets that have been put over dugouts this year. Little looper out towards center field. On the run is Cesar, and he'll get there. Wow. There was no infield fly rule called on that one. And 2 outs.
2 excellent defensive plays by Cesar this evening. Early in the 3rd inning. I like the fact that they go in on Adams here. Lively gets it there effectively. You see where Cesar is and how far he has to go. Odubel was not going to get there. Good play.
Breaking ball, and that's out towards shallow right center. Might have to be Cesar again. Nope, Odubel makes the call on the catch. So Lively works around the 2 singles, and we'll work our way to the top of the 4th inning.
Top of the 4th here in Atlanta. Odubel Herrera will lead it off for the Phillies, and he is the subject of our cold hard fact presented by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Herrera is the first Philly to have 11 extra base hits in a 5-game span, and the first major league player since Joey Votto to do that since 2009. He's also the first Philly in the modern era with 11 consecutive hits for extra base hits. He is streaking, gentlemen.
He sure is, and I talked to him today about it. I said, "You're a doubles machine." And he laughed as he was walking to the cage. He said, "We need to get a win tonight." And that was nice to hear. But it is amazing to see that kind of run. And you hope his good swings just keep on coming. Last major leaguer with 11 straight hits that have gone for extra base hits was Lucas Duda in 2015. And Odubel takes a strike. That may have been a fastball from R.A. Dickey.
It was at 84.
Odubel was just playing possum on that one. He would have swung if it was a strike. All right, Dickey is working quickly. R.A. Dickey now 43 years old. He has 113 wins, 112 losses. There was a time when he was with the Mets, even though he didn't have a stellar record against the Phillies. It was about 500. But they just could not hit him. I mean, he was just mowing them down. He hasn't had the same kind of success against them recently.
Let's do a 3-1 fastball in the inside corner. Odubel was looking for that one.
Out in front of a knuckleball. And that is the 4th strikeout for R.A. Dickey. Don't get hosed by your water supplier by paying high prices on water, cooler rentals, and hidden fees. Call W.B. Mason and order all natural Blizzard Spring water available in 5-gallon bottles and small packs at a price you will love. Exclusively from who? The W.B. Mason.
Shame Odubel swung at that one. Ball 4.
Well, that's what you said. You know, he's walking a lot of guys, but he hasn't walked anybody tonight. He's retired 7 straight.
It's like to get guys on base and put more pressure on Tyler Flowers. Wouldn't be surprised if Odubel would have tried to steal a bag there.
Popped up first base side. And Matt Adams comes down the line. Two outs. A lot of courtesy in R.A. Dickey's game.
People helping people, Tom.
Yep. Man's written children's books. He's got to be a nice guy.
Tommy Joseph, the only man to solve R.A. Dickey tonight.
He's allowed 1 base runner. That was the single by Tommy in the 2nd. Fastball again. 2-2.
That 84 looks like it's 104. Just seeing those knuckleballs float in there. I know he throws it hard, but still, that's still a big difference. Tried it again.
You saw the fastball at 84. That's basically where he throws it. When he was first drafted by the Rangers, he was the #1 pick by Texas. He threw in the mid-90s. In fact, mid to upper 90s. When he first came to the big leagues, he was not a knuckleballer, and he threw 95, 96, but it was all over the place. It is a remarkable story that he basically reinvented himself. Yeah. He would not have been a major leaguer who won 113 games if he did not figure out how to throw the knuckleball. Back toward the middle. Brandon Phillips gathers himself. And another 1-2-3 inning, 9 in a row, retired by R.A. Dickey. Phillies go down in order. We have played 3.5. R.A. Dickey has only allowed 1 base runner as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEF-NOW or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Last of the fourth inning. Ben Lively has scattered 5 hits over the first 3 innings. And he's allowed 2 runs. That came in the first. He's dodged some bullets in the next couple of innings. And Ruiz hits one toward right field. Aaron Altair looks like he's got a beat on it. And 1 out here in the home fourth. I should say Michael Saunders. Altair's over in left field. Altair's playing left field and Saunders is playing right field because Howie Kendrick has tonight off because of his lack of success against R.A. Dickey, according to Pete Mackanin. Otherwise, it would be Altair in right and Howie in left field. Dansby Swanson, the hitter. And he shows bunt, takes outside, 1-0. Curveball inside, 2-1. Swanson was 3 for 4 in last night's ball game. That's a good pitch. The camera up thought that way too. Maybe it was a little outside. It looked pretty good. Popped him up. And Cam off with his mask.
He's had quite a few of those the last couple games.
He has. Sunday, June 18th, when the Arizona Diamondbacks visit Citizens Bank Park. Look at what you get if you're 15 and older and if you're a male. It's the Hawaiian shirt that is sported by Tommy Joseph. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. And also take a look at that shirt. Cameron Rupp, when he tossed his mask aside, I think may have damaged it.
His strap came loose.
It's like a pit crew.
Remember when those masks first came out? I was a Nike guy as well, and they went from the old heavy metal to that titanium, that what you see right there. It was night and day how light they were.
Tommy Joseph makes a nice play, tosses to Lively, and the inning is over. So 1-2-3 go the Braves here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. We're going to move to the top of the fifth inning, but before we do, we talk about this being a celebration of kids here at SunTrust Park this week. Well, our biggest kid was out gallivanting earlier. Here's Greg Murphy.
Well, Tom, one of these days I'm going to grow up, but not anytime soon. So I welcome you to the Sandlot. Of course, every ballpark has that area where the kids can burn off a little extra energy. Here at SunTrust Park, it's out here on the right field concourse. Come take a look. This whole area has kind of a boardwalk kind of feel. All right, you want to burn off some energy? Right here, running from home to first, 90 feet as fast as you can get it. Over here, well, a little bit more tame. You've got some carnival games. One of my favorites, of course, the Chop-A-Mole. And then let's talk baseball. Of course, you can take some swings back there in the batting cage. Then you've got the rock climbing wall and the ever-intimidating zip line. But guys, you challenged me on day one to zip line, so here I am. I'm estimating I'm about what, Carl, 300 feet in the air, give or take, 270 or so. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now, and it's time to zip. Here we go. Woo! Oh, it's a smooth ride. And a solid finish. I'll tell you what, guys. Here's what I'm thinking. The three of us, next time, we're headed up the rock wall.
I'll do the rock wall. You want to do the rock wall, Ben?
I'll do it. I'm your Huckleberry.
We're gonna race up that rock wall.
Yeah, we're going to race up, and we're going to race down because we're just going to fall flat on our face. It was pretty good. 300 feet, huh, Murph?
Yeah, give or take 270 or so.
Carl was in agreement with you.
Yeah, he was. Carl played along. Sometimes you just have to cheat death. That's what I was doing today.
Well, all the ballparks, they do seem to have a kid zone. We have one at Citizens Bank Park that's outstanding, and they have them in the minor leagues too, where they're just trying to do a little bit more to keep the kids interested beyond the baseball game. It's pretty neat.
It was a lot of fun out there today, and why grow up? There's no point of that, right?
I think we wanted to see you run. Like we were peeking to see if there was somebody. I know Greg Farnese's not here, Nick Marquetta's not here, but you probably could have raced against that guy that races against the fans from time to time here at the ballpark.
The Flash?
The Flash.
The Flash.
Yeah.
Well, then you might have seen that I'm not quite as young as I think I am.
That was pretty neat, though.
Murph, how fast do you think you're going?
250. I don't know. I don't know.
That's an estimation, right?
I've got a little extra weight on me, so I was probably going faster than most of the kids go down the zip line.
Did Carl go down after you went down?
No, I don't think Carl didn't play along.
No. That's pretty neat, though. This is our first visit, first of 3 this year, here to SunTrust Park. And they say there'll be even more stuff done the next time we come out.
I hope I never have to get a real job.
The other thing, too, Murph, is that you were aeronautically sound on your way down.
Yeah, they did compliment me on not spinning around. They said most people did. Like that bat into the net.
You know what? This is your opportunity to rock climb right now and go get that bat.
I'll let Michael Saunders do that. He's right there.
I don't think that bat's coming down.
That's the third bat we've seen that's gone into that net tonight. Flowers lost one, Cesar lost one, and now Michael.
Oh, it's starting to come down. Oh, they're pulling the net down. I'm not sure if that's safe.
No.
Well, it's going to be up there for a little while. Can they continue with the bat stuck in the net like that? I don't know if they can. Ryan Blakely, the home plate umpire, Mike Everett, the third base umpire. I do believe they want to have that removed. Boy, that went right through the net.
Well, I think the knob went into one of the little squares of the net.
I don't know, still not sure if that's safe or not. Murph, I think Mike Everett's looking for some help.
You know, if they had a zip line down from the press box, I might be able to get that.
Yes, you could do it. Oh, here we go.
Now that's the net that would have been there anyway.
Correct. Okay. We have a volunteer who is hustling over. All he has is a walkie-talkie. I'm not sure if that's going to do it.
That's not going to be enough. I think they're going to have to bring out a ladder here.
Where's the duct tape when you need it?
I don't think they planned for this, Ben.
No. And duct tape works on everything.
Okay, here comes the Gator out from center field with a ladder.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, Spider-Man. I don't know if that's safe. I don't know. I don't know. Imagine if it catapults him up.
Should lift up his legs at the bottom.
Uh-oh. He's going to walk the net.
We've got a ladder.
Nah, we don't need the ladder. Oh, he was going to do it, too. He's going to come over to help.
I think he's got one of those little giant ladders. You ever see those, Tom?
Kind of builds itself up.
Yeah.
I hope he knows how to operate it. A lot of pressure. Oh,
that's cool.
Whoa. Man, they just put the ladder together, too.
It's like, come on.
That's what happens. You got to call a professional when something like that happens.
Guys, like, I just put this ladder together. You kidding me? Maybe drive all the way out here for nothing.
Well, maybe just having a walkie-talkie does work. Well, Cope is on the call. Murph, congratulate Cope on getting that bat out of the net.
Cope, on behalf of all the folks in Philadelphia, we say congratulations. Thanks a lot. That was good work by you. Congratulations. yeah, way to go.
All right, Cope has restored order. That was a delay of 3 minutes and 19 seconds. They could have reviewed something by then. 2-2 to Maikel Franco. And Franco lines it out to right center field. And Ender Inciarte has been a vacuum against Maikel over the last couple games. And one away. 10 in a row retired by R.A. Dickey. And Michael Saunders is due up. A strike with that knuckleball. It's 0-1. How'd you fare against knuckleballers, man?
I don't remember facing him a whole lot. Just the only one I faced was Wakefield. I do remember hitting a ground roll double off him at Fenway.
Oh, nice. Back in 2004.
No, it was before that, either 02 or 03.
Swing and a miss, and Saunders strikes out for the second time. That's 5 strikeouts now for R.A. Dickey. Have you checked out CSN's podcast? This week on an all-new Quick Slants podcast, Reuben Frank and Derek Gunn speculate on who makes the cut at wide receiver for the Birds. Subscribe and download it all on the CSN podcast, now on Apple, Google Play, and csnphilly.com. Let's see. Cameron Rupp went around on that one. I have August 13th, 2004. Ben Davis, double against Tim Wakefield, your 4th of the year. And you were 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs that day.
Wow.
You got to work on your on-base percentage.
It's the least of my worries.
On-base percentage was .258 at the end of that day. Helping the White Sox to an 8-7 victory over the Red Sox.
Nice.
So you're saying that's not the game?
It could have been. I thought I was with Seattle when I did that. Apparently not. Not a whole lot of good swings by the Phils tonight.
And that does happen against R.A. Dickey. And we've seen it happen for the Phils over the years. This, of course, a different cast of characters. Served down the right field line. Matt Adams will give it a look. It's out of play.
Really is a gorgeous night here in Atlanta.
Yep.
No humidity.
It was a good day. Temperatures this morning were in the 60s, and then by about noon it was That's 75 degrees. It never got into the 80s today. And a strike 3 called on the outside part of the plate. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wakefield. And he has gotten 6 strikeouts tonight against the Phillies. Or excuse me, R.A. Dickey. I have Tim Wakefield on the mind. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Time now for our Citizens Bank Minor League Report. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. Lehigh Valley yesterday swept Buffalo in a doubleheader. Reese Hoskins hit another home run, 3 RBIs. Reading split a doubleheader with Bowie. Kyle Martin in Game 2 had a triple and a home run. He's been hot lately. And Lakewood defeated Kannapolis 6-4. Will Hibbs, 2 innings, scoreless and a strikeout. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Ender Inciarte will lead it off. Inciarte is 0 for 1 with a walk, and he swings at the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Doesn't matter if it's a changeup, curveball, fastball, they're hacking.
And this is the 3rd time through. You thought maybe it would change a little bit. But I guess it's worked for them. Inciarte has his 6th hit. And he's going to go to second base. The throw, and he is out at second base. I guess the ball kind of died in the grass, and he figured, I'm going to take a chance and try to get there.
Not a bad play. You know, if you're going to err on the side of aggression, it's the advantage you have when you do have a 2-0 lead. Ryan Snitker's not going to be upset at him for trying to get in a score position.
He does hustle. And Odubel did not delay at all here.
Not at all. And really no other throw would have gotten him. That's a heck of a throw on the run.
That is the 2nd outfield assist of the year for Odubel Herrera. Phillies outfield defense has been a tick better than last year. You know, their offense has been good, but their defense has been very good. They've committed just 4 errors in about 400 opportunities this year, which is 5th best in Major League Baseball. And that goes along with the defense, the outfield assists by getting Inciarte. I think he's asking Adonis Garcia if that was a good play or not. Line drive just over Freddie Galvis, and Brandon Phillips has his 2nd hit of the day.
Roy Hobbs.
Amazing. He just doesn't stop hitting against the Phils.
Just out of reach of Freddie.
Markakis is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Not a huge lead for Brandon Phillips.
He didn't even have his wrist guard on yet. Nobody's going to run on that slide step. Boy, he was fast to home plate right there. And he made a good pitch with it, too. That's that fastball, just at 91, but it seems like it just jumps on the hitters.
Yeah, Markakis was late.
Yeah.
Brandon Phillips was sputtering a little bit. Lively last time out went 7 innings, which snapped a 13-game streak. 7 innings and got the win. A 13-game streak in which a starter had not picked up a victory for the Phils. They only had 2 wins up until that point in the month of May. May 1st was Vince Velasquez. May 19th was Jeremy Hellickson. Yeah, the dirt 2-2. Good block by Cameron Rupp. First Philly to win his major league debut since Jared Eichhoff did. That was in 2015. Two balls, 2 strikes to Markakis. Over to shortstop. Freddie Galvis surrounds it to second for 1. Over to first in time. A 6-4-3 double play, and that wasn't an easy double play. And Galvis was able to ignite it. No runs, 2 hits, and nobody left. We'll move to the 6th inning. Time now for our State Farm double play. State Farm here to help life go right. We kind of get spoiled with Freddie Galvis as Galvis surrounds that and makes a good feed to Cesar Hernandez.
He had to attack it just to get it on that hop. That is your State Farm double play. State Farm helping life go right.
And now Galvis will lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning. All right, they got to get something going against R.A. Dickey, who's retired 12 in a row. He grounded out to third base his first time up. Walked 5 in his last outing, walked 5 in the outing before. The thing about R.A. Dickey is that back in 2012 when he won the Cy Young Award, he threw a lot of strikes. That was part of the reason for his success. He's throwing more strikes this year than then. But he's also getting hit a little bit more. Not tonight, only 1 hit allowed.
Now the 76 pitches, 49 are strikes.
See the averages per 9 innings. 15.5 base runners per 9 innings. He's had 1 tonight. Tyler Flowers doing the catching tonight. And Galvis strikes out. 7 strikeouts, 3 in a row by R.A. Dickey. So when they put down, let's say 2 or 3, is that a slower knuckleball or a faster knuckleball? Is that what it is?
It could be what side of the plate you want it. I caught Esteban Loaiza, and he threw just predominantly cutters. He would use 2 and 4 depending on what side of the plate he wanted to put them on.
Here's the strikeout pitch.
Thing is dancing, isn't it?
It is. Bouncer back toward the middle. Swanson to his left. 14 in a row retired by R.A. Dickey. All right, 3rd time through. Let's see if the Phillies can get something rolling. Seven strikeouts for R.A. Dickey are a season high. He had 6 versus San Diego on April 15th, but he has 7 here tonight. I guess if you're a catcher, you just can't get frustrated.
No. And you can't panic. Just have to try and be like you have a giant pair of tweezers back there. Just be as soft as you can.
That's the second one that he's boxed. Over to first base. Easy play for Matt Adams. Phillies' only hit came back in the 2nd inning. It was a leadoff single by Tommy Joseph. Other than that, R.A. Dickey's knuckleball has been dancing. He's retired 15 straight. We move on to the bottom of the 6th inning. Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. By McDonald's, introducing the new signature crafted recipes at McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by your local Chevrolet dealers. Home half of the 6th inning. Braves lead it 2-0. Matt Kemp will lead it off. He has a double and a single. As Ben Lively has allowed 7 hits through 5 innings. He's only thrown 67 pitches, though. Six of the outs he's recorded have been on the ground.
This is truly remarkable.
How they're attacking early?
Truly remarkable.
He has thrown first pitch strikes to 16 batters. Partly because they're swinging at the first pitch so often. Got him. 3 pitches, 1 away here in the 6th inning. That is the 3rd major league strikeout for Ben Lively. All 3 coming tonight.
Good breaking ball here by Ben. There's a timing off Matt Kemp.
Matt Adams loops it into center field. That'll be a base hit. So that's his first hit of the night, 4th hit of the series. Time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. All right, Ben, what visiting player hit the longest home run in Turner Field history?
Well, once I got the hint from you that it was not a Philly, started thinking that guys hit the farthest when I played. That would be McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa.
What about Galarraga?
Yeah, but he didn't hit him as far as the other ones.
What about Galarraga?
I'm gonna go with Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa is correct. 2001. 471 feet. We appreciate Glenn's input tonight. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Ball's fouled back by Tyler Flowers.
I can't stop looking at that moon up there, Tom. It is beautiful.
Put it there just for you, Ben. Down the left field line, that'll go foul. 0-2.
There you see it. It won't be full till tomorrow night, correct? What we're told.
What is tonight, the 8th?
It's the 8th.
Yeah, so it's the 9th is the full moon.
That's pretty full to me. Almost full moon?
I think you call it an almost full moon. There's got to be a scientific name for it.
I'm sure there is.
You want to check the internet for it and see if you know what it is? All right, Murph, what do you got?
Guys, I think it's called not a full moon. I think that's the.
So we just said.
Yeah.
Oh, we said almost full moon.
Well, that'll work.
Mm-hmm. Another foul ball, and it remains 1-2. Flowers has struck out, and he's also flied out. He flied out to center field. Over to right field. On the run is Saunders toward foul territory. And he just barely misses getting there. Good effort, and it remains 1 ball 2 strikes to Flowers.
See a ball on the ground here. Have another inning-ending double play. Had the right man running at home plate.
Line drive center field. Odubel Herrera has to go over his head. He misread it. Now he's got to hustle after it. Matt Adams is around third, heading for home. Freddie Galvis won't have a play. It's an RBI double, and it's 3-0 Braves on top.
That ball was scorched.
Sure was.
Outfielders always say the hardest ball to catch is the one hit directly at you. I'm not even sure if Odubel breaks back on this. He catches that ball was cooked.
The only thing that would have helped if he had gone back at it is he may have held Adams at third base because he would have gotten there faster.
Take a look at this replay. I mean, Odubel's not playing terribly deep, but that ball is way over his head.
And he hustles after it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That ball was really hit hard.
Well, now Ruiz is up with 1 out and a runner at second base. Ruiz was a former 4th-round pick of the Houston Astros back in 2012. Cesar Hernandez, nice job to his left. Over to third base goes Flowers. And Dansby Swanson is coming up.
They will walk him intentionally.
Which means that R.A. Dickey will get a chance to bat with runners on first and third. I think that's the only move that Pete Buchanan could make. Already down 3-0. At this point last night his team was down 4-0. Swing and a miss. Dickey is a 175 lifetime hitter. Does have 5 RBIs this year. Over to third base, Michael Franco has it. So a run does score, an extra run for the Braves. They collect a couple of base hits. They leave 2. Odubel will lead things off when we come back for the top of the 7th. The dealers game summary. Well, the Braves jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first against Ben Lively, and they just added a third run on a double by Tyler Flowers. Lively has scattered 9 hits over 6 innings so far. Phillies been outscored 14-1 last couple games. And R.A. Dickey has been total command. He has 7 strikeouts. He's retired 15 straight. And he will face Odubel Herrera, Aaron Altair, and Tommy Joseph. Well, he said he wanted to be more aggressive with his knuckleball. And he's been around the strike zone. He's had one issue. That was the second inning when he threw 20 pitches. But that's the only time the Phillies have had a base runner. That was the single by Tommy Joseph, who was left over third. So Odubel will go to work. 0 for 2 in tonight's game.
Need some runners. That's why I say we need some runners so we can put some pressure on Tyler Flowers back there. We saw him last time. He really struggled catching the baseball. Put runners on base, that's a whole different animal. Then you really start to, those hands starting to harden up.
Off the hands, over the head of the third baseman, down the left field line. Odubel's going to get 2 out of this one as he pulls into second base with his 12th extra base hit in the last 6 games.
He's going to get 2 out of that one. Of course he's going to get 2.
22 doubles for Odubel Herrera. This is a remarkable run.
Kind of gets jammed there. He cuts himself off with that stride, but the swing plane is on plane. Flat through the zone. Kemp playing really deep in left field. That's an easy double.
Well, here's Aaron Altair. Altair is 0 for 2. He's flied out and he's popped out. Foul ball off the inside of Aaron Altair's leg. And 1-2.
Yeah, it's hard to miss those feet, those size 15s. I learned yesterday in the piece that Ryan Lawrence did in Philly Voice that Altair in German means old man.
He's a lot of things. He's not an old man.
No, he's not.
Outside, 2-2. R.A. Dickey wanted that one. Pulls that one, a foul ball.
Man. Mike Everett was all over it.
He was. That is not reviewable. Looked like it hit in fair territory before the bag. But
it did.
must have hooked foul.
Really close.
That is the 4th full count for R.A. Dickey. Swing and a miss. 4th full count, but it's the 8th strikeout for Dickey. And that's the first out here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, another pitch down out of the zone. See the grip. The ball just tumbled right in there. It's a late breaker.
They throw behind Odubel Herrera, and he is back.
It's a very unconventional pickoff attempt there.
Sure was. Phillies have managed 2 hits. A single by Joseph in the 2nd, the double by Odubel in this inning. Both are leadoff hits. Ground ball to 3rd. Ruiz has it. He'll chase Odubel back to 2nd. Two away, and they'll leave it up to Michael Franco. Saturday, June 17th, all children 14 and under will receive the WB Mason collectible truck when the Phils take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Visit Phillies.com for more information and to order your tickets. Michael Franco has lined out to center field twice. He's 1 for 14 in the series. He's lined out to center field 4 times in the last 2 games. Not much you could do about it. He hit the ball hard all 4. His average has dipped down to .213. 0-2.
That was a good one to hit. That ball was elevated. I think Michael just pulls his head off. His head looking down the 3rd base line there. He cannot hit. You can't see.
Off the hands, base hit it to right field. Rounding 3rd, heading for Almas Herrera. The throw to the plate by Markakis is not in time. Odubel slides in on the backside, and it's a 3-1 ball game.
Very aggressive by Juan Samuel here to send Odubel, but he had a good secondary. Nice job of hitting by Michael. Got to get some runs on the board, and the opportunities have been few and far between. Markakis doesn't throw it like he used to. Still a pretty good throw, right on the money. But Odubel just flat out beats it.
R.A. Dickey was complaining about something on the slide to home plate. Tell you what, Flowers did not really. Well, I guess he did give him a pretty good path. I think R.A. Dickey was wondering if he hit the plate or not, but he did. All right, Chuck Hernandez out to the mound to talk to R.A. Dickey.
What's going to tell him?
Only give it up 3 hits.
Hey, let's throw the knuckler. Seriously.
Throw with conviction, R.A.
Maybe it's just being to settle him down a little bit. You said he was upset.
He was upset.
I don't know what he could be upset about.
Yeah, the only thing, it looked like he was pointing toward the home plate area. All right, so the Phils are on the board here in the top of the 7th inning. And Michael Saunders has struck out twice.
He's got 2 career homers against Dickey. That's a good time for your 3rd.
Yeah, home run ballpark. Braves had Jose Ramirez up and throwing in the bullpen. Oh, 1. There's Ramirez. That one's pulled towards second base. Brandon Phillips flips to Dansby Swanson. Phil settle for a run on the RBI single by Maikel Franco. But that is all. They leave 1, and we stretch here in Atlanta. Take on the San Diego Padres, and it's a great giveaway. All fans receive a Mike Schmidt bobble figurine presented by Toyota. Go to Phillies.com for more information and to get another glimpse at that bobble figurine, which you see right there. Top of the order is due up for the Braves as we hit the bottom of the 7th inning. R.A. Dickey and Brian Snitker were chatting in the dugout, and a pat on the back for Snitker. I think he's going to go to the bullpen in the 8th inning.
Well, I sure wouldn't.
I think it's a dangerous move at this point. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, which is probably the biggest factor in his success tonight because he walked 5 in each of the last 2 games. And was averaging close to 4 walks per game since the 1st of May. Inciarte pulls it foul. 2-1. Ramos warming up in the bullpen. Phillies added Casey Fiend to the roster today. He's in the bullpen as well, wearing number 54. Line drive caught on one hop by Maikel Franco, and one away. That's a good play. We've been talking about Maikel's defense, where it's not the same as it was last year, and it really isn't. He didn't really have to do a whole lot except for react to the backhand side there.
Definitely want to keep Inciarte off the bases here. He just kind of fell down and smothered that one. Strong throw over to Tommy Joseph.
Phillips has a couple hits and 3 at-bats tonight. Every time a Phillies pitcher retires, the opposition 1-2-3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Pop up on the right side. Tommy Joseph is there. And now 2 outs here in the 7th inning. You got to give the kid some credit. They've hit him a little bit here tonight, but he has certainly kept the Phillies in this game.
Good pitch. Wow. Good pitch.
Nine groundouts. He had 10 his last outing, 7 flyouts and 3 strikeouts. Grounder foul.
So you can't tell me right there, Tom. If he throws another fastball inside right there, you wouldn't just lock him up. Because you said, well, he just threw one in there. I'm going to look back out over the plate. And you got something slow out over the plate.
Ground ball, second base. To his right, Cesar Hernandez.
Could have saved the pitch right there, T-Mac.
A 1-2-3 7th inning. Cameron Rupp just said something about Ryan Blakeney about that last pitch. But Lively, 7 innings for his 2nd consecutive outing. He's due up 3rd in the top of the 8th inning. you by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com. Phillies trail at 3-1 as we move to the top of the 8th inning here at SunTrust Park. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. Odubel Herrera was a little surprised by this, but was able to recover nicely.
It's a single here off the bat of Ender Inciarte up the middle. Inciarte does not stop. Nice one-hop strike to Freddie Galvis to nab the base runner. Good play by Odubel. That is your defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, our expectation is that Ben Lively's night is done. He's gone 7 innings. Vizcaíno will take over for the Braves here in the 8th inning. Not Ramirez. He'll face Cameron Rupp, and then Freddie Galvis. 0-1.
Looks like Daniel Nava's going to be the man to come up.
Daniel had a base hit in last night's game. Check swing by Rupp. They appeal and no swing, says Jordan Baker. 1-2.
You got to respect that 98 that you just saw from Vizcaíno. The first 3 pitches to Cameron, all sliders.
Fastball and a call. Strike 3. 9 strikeouts tonight for Braves pitching. And Freddie Galvis is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks, Tom. Time for our unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile. To update you on 2 stories we told you about last night. The Astros' Dallas Keuchel, who left last night's game before it even started. He was scratched before his start due to illness, they said last night. Well, tonight they are saying he is headed to the disabled list with soreness in his neck. It is not the first time that Keuchel has had some neck issues this season, so he is going back to Houston to get checked out. They're being extra careful, obviously, with their ace. But A.J. Hinch did say before the game that he wasn't feeling well. They're not sure whether the symptoms have any part in the neck soreness as well, but again, not taking any chances, so he is on the 10-day disabled list. We also told you about Manny Machado last night, the Orioles third baseman who hurt his wrist. He actually has a puncture wound from Andrew McCutchen's cleat in his wrist, but all tests that they did on that wrist were negative. That is good news. He is not headed to the disabled list. He is just listed as day-to-day, and they even said that perhaps he could be used as early as tonight as a pinch hitter. So good news on Manny Machado, not as good news on Dallas Keuchel, guys.
Well, Dallas Keuchel has been a huge reason why the Astros have been as good as they are this year. And think about it, last year he missed a lot of the season as that ball hit the glove of Flowers, then the home plate umpire. But it's 3-0 to Galvis.
Hard to believe, though, that Machado's down to .213. It's batting average. It's remarkably, bad for him. He's a guy that could be MVP every year.
Watching a couple Orioles games a few weeks back, some of his numbers are good, the home runs and stuff like that. And, they talk about his batting average with balls in play. That's down this year as well because his average is so low. But they still say that there are certain statistical categories where he's faring well. But that average, like you said, that's not Manny Machado.
He's got 53 strikeouts already.
Meanwhile, for the Astros, Lance McCullers has 6 no-hit innings tonight. There's a ground ball to the hole at shortstop, backhanded by Swanson, and Galvis beats it out. So Freddie's aboard. He's hit it 6 straight. And Nava is coming up.
Another nice job done by Ben Lively.
I mean, he had a lot of hits that he gave up tonight, but he worked around them.
Yeah.
Scattered 9 hits over 7 innings. He's held the Braves to a 1-for-8 clip with runners in scoring position. Fastball 0-1. Just 95 pitches tonight for Lively through 7 innings. That's a good eye. That's a close pitch. 3-1 now to Nava. Phillies will head to St. Louis for 3 and then to Boston for 2. Daniel Nava began his major league career, professional career, in the independent leagues, but then eventually went to the Red Sox. First at bat was against the Phils, and it was his first hit, a grand slam. Fouls it away. 3-2. Well, Ben Lively, first Philly with at least 7 innings in his first 2 career starts since Carlton Lower in 1998.
CeeLo, my roommate.
Really?
Yes.
All 4, and Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 man down. Now the Braves have a lefty warming up in the bullpen. It looked like it was Ian Kroll who got up. As Cesar Hernandez will bat. That is Kroll. We have not seen him in this series. We haven't seen Jim Johnson in this series. Cesar is hitless in 3 at-bats. He's grounded out twice. He has gone down looking. He has 2 runners on with 1 man down. Cesar has hit in 7 straight games. And this Vizcaíno looks down at the mound as he releases that first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Not the perfect 1-0 swing for Cesar. It might have been ball 2.
Yeah.
It was close. Liner out towards center field. Inciarte on the run out toward the track. Tracks it down. Freddie Galvis to third base. He'll hold up there. Oh man, he hit that one right on the nose, but there are 2 outs. And Inciarte was able to track it down.
He beat you in so many ways. Ball was smoked out to center field. I'm thinking, boy, there's a chance that could get over the head of Ender Inciarte, but he goes back. Great efficient route there. Catches it just on the warning track.
Well, Brian Snitker will take the baseball from Vizcaino. He's going to bring in the lefty Ian Kroll to face Odubel Herrera. So we have a pitching change here in the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies are down by 2, 3-1. Yeah, he deserves some high fives. Friday, August 11th is part of Alumni Weekend, brought to you by Toyota. All fans coming to the ballpark that night when the Phillies take on the Mets will receive the Pete Rose Bobble figurine. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com/theme nights. Pete being inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame this year. Ian Kroll is the new pitcher for the Atlanta Braves here in the 8th inning with runners on first and third. Kroll has a 5.48 ERA, but lefty's hitting just $1.56 against him. Second year with the Atlanta Braves, was with Washington and then 2 years with Detroit. Odubel doubled his last time up. That's not a shocker. He has a double in 6 consecutive games, which is tied for the longest streak by a Philly since 1913. Only 2 other players have accomplished that feat. Bobby Abreu in 2000 and Heine Sand in 1925. Fastball, and it's 0-2.
First swing by Odubel was right on point. I don't think he was expecting Kroll to throw another heater. Looking up some Heine Sand information.
I just wanted to see what his real first name was. John Henry. He was involved in a bribery incident. It resulted in 2 players being banned in 24. Kind of saw Mountain Landis. He wasn't taking anything back then, right? Heritage runners that have scored and have been stranded for Ian Kroll. He's been pretty efficient this year. Odubel saying thank you to the home plate umpire for the time.
Very appreciative.
Broken bat liner right at the third baseman Ruiz. Phillies leave a couple here in the 8th inning. We have played 7.5. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Phillies still down by 2, 3-1. For our WB Mason delivery of the game, we go back to the first inning. Matt Kemp, opposite way.
It's a fastball down the zone. It's that right center field gap. Man can use the whole field to score. Brandon Phillips there. That is your WB Mason delivery of the game.
Yeah, it's one of 2 runs that scored in that first inning for the Braves. They added another one in the 6th inning on an RBI double by Tyler Flowers. So we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Adebayo Ramos will take over for Ben Lively, who went 7 innings, allowed 9 hits and 3 runs. Ramos a 3.55 ERA. Good pitch, 0-2.
Getting my son's grass stains out of his uniform must be tough. It is tough. But getting that pine tar off his left shoulder every night? I mean, seriously.
What about OxyClean?
I try it all. Pine tar, I think, would be a little tougher than grass stain.
Line drive caught by Freddie Galvis. And one out.
Look at that.
And Matt Adams was coming up. Well, Andres Blanco had it all over his back when he was pitching yesterday. He was using illegal substances. There's Matt Adams, who is 1 for 3. Now, you get the grass stains out of Tag's uniform?
I do a lot of the laundry.
Really?
I do.
There's a base hit to right center field for Matt Adams. That's his second hit in tonight's ball game. So he's 2 for 4.
So since we moved into the new house,
right,
we have new laundry, washing machine and dryer.
You have 3 washers and 3 dryers?
No. But they're the high efficiency ones. It's amazing how much less detergent you have to use. It's incredible.
You got to buy the right detergent, though.
Apparently, yes.
You have to have the HE on it.
Picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm. Flowers tonight is 1 for 3. He doubled his last time, drove in a run. Ramos delivers a tad low, and it's 1-0. Phillies half in the 9th inning. It'll be Altair, Joseph, and Franco against Jim Johnson. And he's the closer for the Braves. That one is over the head of Cesar Hernandez for a base hit. Adams goes to second. Now, the fact that Adams and Flowers each have 2 hits tonight has certainly hampered the Phillies, but it has helped the Braves. Those 2 guys combined to drive in the insurance run in the 6th inning. And now with 1 man down, Brian Snitker is hoping that their hits in this inning will help add to their total. Ruiz is 0 for 3 after walking 3 times last night and scoring 3 runs. Ruiz was out today. He was one of 4 infielders that was out today going through early drills with Ron Washington, the third base coach for the Atlanta Braves, former manager of the Texas Rangers, went to the World Series a couple times. He and Perry Hill are considered 2 of the better infield coaches in baseball. Washington built his reputation as the third base coach with the Oakland A's. But he was going through the same drills individually with those players today. It took about an hour, I'd say about an hour and 15 minutes. It started with Sean Rodriguez, who's on the disabled list right now for the Atlanta Braves, and then it went to Ruiz. It went to Camargo and Dansby Swanson as well. Inside 1-2. It was pretty regimented. He'd start where he and the player were on knees about 5 feet apart, and he would roll ground balls to the backhand and to the front side. Then he would take a bat on his knee and do the same thing. Then he would stand up and chop a ball from the same distance to the infielder. Then he'd move back about 15 feet and hit ground balls to the backhand side, to the front of the player, and to the player's left. all the while doing some instructing along the way. There's so much that you learn if you get out here early, and obviously the fans can't do it as well as we can, but if you get here early enough and you see some of that early work that's being put in, I mean, there's a lot of instructing that's still going on for these major leaguers.
The belief is that you do it so many times where when it happens in the game, you don't think about it. You just react and make the play. I think ground balls, I wouldn't say more so than anything, but ground balls in baseball, it just becomes muscle memory because you do it every day for a regimented amount of time. And then in the game, it just becomes second nature.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. There's Swanson on deck. Little topper, foul.
After going 0-2 on Ruiz, this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat.
This could be 2. Galvis flips to second for 1, over to first in time. A 6-4-3 double play. Well, they had to make sure it happened quickly because Ruiz was moving and the ball wasn't hit all that hard. So we'll go to the 9th inning. Phil's last opportunity. Aaron Altair will start things off against Jim Johnson.
Ninth here in Atlanta. They trail it 3-1 to the Braves. When this one is all said and done, it's, well, part 2 of this road trip, and they head to St. Louis, take on the Cardinals in a weekend series. Jeremy Hellickson will take the ball on Friday night versus Michael Wacha. That game at 8:15 Eastern time. And a pair of afternoon games on Saturday. It's Nick Pivetta and Carlos Martinez at 2:15 Eastern. And on Sunday, 2:15 as well, Aaron Nola will take the ball. And he'll face Adam Wainwright in that game. But guys, hey, it's only 2 runs. This one's not over yet.
Well, I agree with that, Murph, particularly the way this bullpen has been at times for the Braves. There's Jim Johnson, who will take over. Johnson is the closer for the Braves. And he will face Aaron Altair as we begin the top of the 9th inning. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. Well, for 7 innings, it was R.A. Dickey's knuckleball. He struck out 8, allowed just 3 hits. And then Vizcaino went 2/3. He allowed a couple base runners. Ian Kroll got the only out he needed to get in the 8th inning. And now it's Jim Johnson who takes over, and he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes to Aaron Altair. Way outside, 1-2. Braves have blown 9 save opportunities this year. Outside. Does have a 3.65 earned run average, Jim Johnson does. Takes 1 base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Over to shortstop. Swanson's got it. Phillies postgame live, hosted by Rob Ellis, is coming up after this ball game. It's presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Rob and Ricky Bowe will talk about R.A. Dickey and how he got the best of the Phillies lineup tonight. Plus another solid outing by Lively, scattered 9 hits over 7 innings. And Odubel Herrera continued his stretch of doubles. He had a double in the 7th inning tonight. That's all coming up on Phillies postgame live. Ben Davis will be along to chat with the guys. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Shame Aaron didn't let that pitch get a little bit deeper. Pitch on the outside corner. Let it get a little bit deeper. Take that ball up the middle. We got a base runner.
Tommy Joseph fouls it. It's 1-1. Tommy has 1 of the 4 hits this evening. That one's lined out toward left center field. Inciarte on the run, and he's going to track it down yet again. He was playing back because he wanted to ward off the extra base hit, but he did get an excellent jump to track it down.
It's his first jump. It's his first step. Man, he's so quick. I mean, he makes that with relative ease, and that ball was smoked to center field. But you see him, he just gets on his horse, knows exactly where the ball's going to come down. That's a tough play. He made that look really easy.
Well, now Michael Franco, the last chance for the Phils, who won the first 2 games of this series and lost yesterday 14-1. Scored their only run in the 9th inning. One and one. Played umpire tonight. Ryan Blakeney's been good. He's been consistent.
Well, we haven't talked about him. You know he's been good.
Back toward the middle. Flagged down by Jim Johnson. And the ball game is over. The Braves have taken the last 2 games, so they earn the split in this 4-game series as they win it tonight by a final score of 3-1. Ender Inciarte not only reached base a couple times and scored the game's first run, but he also made a couple of very good defensive plays out in center field, including one in this inning.